Welcome to Leading with Purpose, the podcast that's dedicated to helping you become the leader you aspire to be. Join us on a journey of self-discovery, empowerment, and inspiration as we explore the world of leadership and personal growth. In each episode, we will explore the art and science of effective leadership, bringing you insights, stories, and strategies from experts and thought leaders across various industries. And now your hosts, Dawn Marie Bornhammer, Maisha B. Hoy, Janelle E. Taylor, and Dr. Sharon H. Porter. Welcome to Leading with Purpose, the podcast that's dedicated to helping you become the leader you aspire to be as you lead, empower, inspire, and achieve. I am Dr. Sharon H. Porter, Editor-in-Chief of Vision and Purpose Lifestyle Magazine.
Everyone, my name is Janelle E. Taylor. I'm founder of the J2A Corporation, where we optimize people, performance, and products.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dawn Bornheimer, and I'm the founder and CEO of Mission Inspired Consulting.
And we are elated to welcome Mr. Ryan Lavarnway as our guest for this episode. He is a World Series champion and Olympian. Since retiring from baseball, he has become an author, a keynote speaker, and leadership consultant, helping teams change how they think about work. Please help me welcome our guest today, Mr. Ryan Lavarnway. Welcome.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me.
We are super excited to have you dive into the leadership mindset and find out all the things that you are going to offer us today. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, of course. Let's dig in.
Absolutely. Let's dig in. And so I really want to talk about you start your podcast, Finding the Way, every day with 90% mental and the rest physical. Something that Yogi Berra says. I want you to dive into that for us.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite quotes, and it's something that I've always lived by, because something that I focus on in my keynote is that I'm not particularly physically gifted, right? I have a very average arm. I'm a very below average defender. I'm a very, very below average runner. I'm the slowest runner on any field. And I willed my way to becoming one of the best baseball players in the world for over 10 years. And my belief is that everybody has the opportunity to do that in their chosen field with will, determination, tenacity, overcoming obstacles, and really a stick-to-itiveness and an ability to figure it out and not give up when things get hard. So when I talk to elite performers, mindset coaches, etc., on my podcast, Finding the Way, I'm really trying to figure out what's going on between their ears, what's happening behind the curtain that sets these individuals apart and helps them accomplish what millions of other people really want to accomplish. But these individuals are able to stand out, and I'm not willing to accept that it's pure talent.
I love that. And you talk about really optimizing that 90%. And so I like that because I think what people don't understand always is that it is all in the mind, right? And that's the mental part of it. Change your mindset, you change your trajectory. And so to me, and just listening at different episodes of Finding the Way, that's exactly what you pull out of your guests. So I really appreciate that. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I really believe that everything in your life is the end result of what you believe, right? Your belief leads to thoughts, leads to actions, leads to results. And the funny thing about belief is you can believe in anything. And realistically, you can't believe in something that you know already, because then you know it. So when you're looking to get a better outcome and you don't know if it's possible or not, you wonder, is that possible, or you don't see the way. It starts with belief, right? Because if you knew already that it was possible, you wouldn't have to believe.
Exactly. I love that. Thank you for that.
Ryan, you have the mindset of a champion, obviously, and I'm interested in your transition from baseball to your leadership consulting. Your journey from being a World Series champion and Olympian to becoming an author, keynote speaker, and leadership consultant is remarkable. So I want to ask for our audience, who are probably wondering just as I am, what were the most significant challenges? Can you share with us one that you faced during your transition, and how did your experiences in baseball prepare you for your current role?
Oh man, transitioning out of sports, it feels like a champagne type problem, and I know that as first world problems. But you're whether or not you say I play baseball, baseball is not who I am, or insert your sport here, whether you dance your whole life, whether you're a singer, you play piano, and you have this passion to really pursue it. It gives you a purpose. Um, it's the one thing that you're striving for. For me, it was for 30 years. I started playing when I was 5 years old, and I happened to be eventually one of the best in the world at it. And I got to pursue this dream until I was 35. And when I decided it was time to try something else, it was really an identity crisis in a way, where it's like, well, what do I want to do now? Because since I was 5 years old, baseball was the reason I got up in the morning. It was the guiding light that informed my decisions on what should I eat because I want to be in my best physical shape. When should I go to sleep at night? Why should I not do drugs? Why should I hang around better people? Why should I work out? Why should I get good grades so that I'm eligible for a better academic school that will help me play and get to the next opportunity? So this one guiding light for me informed every decision I ever made. So it was a very difficult transition, and I think a lot of people experience that, and a lot of people feel isolated as they go through it. I know I did, because there's not a lot of resources easily available, or that when you feel isolated, you feel like reaching out to. For me, what ended up happening was I was recommended a book called Work Identity, and I have never felt so seen by a book before. Even the introduction to the book, I was like, did this person open up my soul and read what's going on inside me? And they talk about when you make any sort of major transition in your life, we like to think that you can sit back, make a pros cons list, make a decision, and then go from there. But that's not how transition works. You have to try things, because for 30 years, I saw myself as a baseball player. I also got to see myself in other people's eyes. Oh, you're a baseball player, and they react to you in a certain way, and that felt cool to me. So if I was going to do one of the 50 things that many of my mentors recommended I could do, sell insurance, sell mortgages, medical device sales, or go into keynote speaking, or go into be a teacher. There's a number of things that were recommended to me. And until I stepped into those shoes and tried them, there was no way I was ever going to know if it could fulfill me, how I would see myself, how I would see the world see me back. And what ended up happening was I tried a number of things, and I stepped into those roles, and I talked to people. This is what I'm trying this week. This is what I'm trying this month. And that was really what got me out of the funk and got me moving forward again.
I really love that honest answer, because my three favorite words are "let's try this." It's even in my bio. And I'm telling you right now, that answer is the essence of this podcast. This is the reason why there are coaches and mentors and leaders, because we need those keyword resources that you mentioned. So thank you for saying that sometimes it could be an identity crisis. And just like a business evolves, your purpose can evolve. Would you agree to that?
Well, it needs to evolve. It needs to evolve. I think ultimately you are changing. The world is changing. If you want to stay the same, then you're going to fall behind. And I don't even mean that in like a motivation, like you have to get up and go type way. I just mean like the world goes on. Like I played baseball for 30 years, 15 of them professionally. the minute I decided I wasn't playing anymore, or that the game decided I wasn't playing anymore, like the league is still happening. Like I'm just not a part of it anymore. And anytime that there's any change, the world keeps moving. So um, it's a VUCA changing world, and change is constant.
Change is constant. Thank you, Ryan.
So Ryan, I wanted to chat a little bit about high performance mindset. You speak a lot about different types of mindset, but as a former athlete myself, I think about the skills and the discipline that I learned as an athlete and how that translates into the way I move through the world in business. And so love to just hear your take on high performance mindset and maybe some key takeaways for our audience.
Yeah, to me, it's about being willing to fail, like being willing to grow. And I think, especially in baseball, more so than even other sports, failure is baked into your everyday existence so constantly that you learn how to fail forward, and you learn how to find the wins and search for the wins, because you're going to fail more than you succeed. I mean, how many things in your life do you fail more than you succeed, and it still has to be a success, or you'll drive yourself crazy, right? So you find other ways to value or establish wins. For instance, in baseball, they have something called a quality at bat, and this isn't reported to fans. You're not going to see it on the back of a baseball card or up on the jumbotron, because if your batting average is 300, you failed 7 out of 10. But you could have 50, 60% quality at bats. And what I mean by that is, if you hit a ball 105 miles per hour right at someone, right? You hit a round ball with a round bat very, very hard. You have to find that as a win. So that's a quality at bat, right? Even if you strike out, but you made the pitcher throw 10 pitches and now he's tired, there's a much higher chance that your teammate, the next guy, will get on base. The statistics back this up. So even a strikeout could be a quality at bat. And I think searching for wins, and this is where I translate my baseball experience into the leadership coaching. I've partnered with Jackie Insinger, who is a executive coach. She's been coaching C-suite executives for 20 years, and I facilitate her leadership program. It's called Spark Brilliance, and it's really a fantastic program, fully data backed, fully up to date with science. But we talk about a lot of industries have long cycles for their product, for their sales team, from development to until it reaches the consumer. Oftentimes, the people that are at the beginning of the cycle don't even see it all the way through. They're not even with the company anymore. But when you have a win, your brain releases dopamine, and you end up running faster towards the next win. So the best leaders, and forgive me, I'm going to transfer to a football analogy now. The best leaders find a way to give their team first downs. It's not all about the touchdown at the end of the road. You celebrate every little win as you create momentum, and you create a virtuous dopamine loop where you celebrate the win, you start running faster towards the next win. You celebrate the next win, you go towards the next win. The research behind this is incredible. There's a study I love, and I quote it all the time. You know, when you go to a coffee shop or an ice cream shop, and they have the little punch card where if you get 10, you get a free ice cream?
Yeah.
Did an independent study on 2 ice cream shops near each other. Geographic location didn't matter. Might have been coffee shops. But they had one of them where they go 1 to 10, and they had one of them where you had to get 12, but you started with 2. The one where you started with 2, the first punch was your third punch. So now you feel like you're 25% of the way to your goal instead of 10%. People came back faster and more often to that punch card than the original punch card.
I love that. I love that story. I love that analogy, because you think about the intrinsic motivation, but also the opportunity to uplift people and to help them understand that they're a part of the success. Because a lot of people are behind the curtain inside business, where they don't ever get to see, they're not the revenue driving individual who gets to close the deal, but there is somebody who helped build that product. There's somebody who helped with the marketing pieces. There's people that are doing the inner workings behind the scenes in the tech, and they don't get the same level of exposure or accolades, frankly, in a traditional business model. So what does it look like to pull forward all of those individuals and celebrate the milestones along the way, allowing it to be a collective win when the win comes, but also celebrating the smallest of moments along the way? The punch card is just such a beautiful analogy, because some people just need to see a little bit of a head start. They need to feel like they're not starting from zero. And if that little bit of head start was a motivation or an incentive, it seems like it worked beautifully.
That's
Thank
exactly
you.
right. Everybody wants to do a good job. Everyone wants to feel valued. And the best leaders find a way to create those, middle milestones amongst the bigger win.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful. I love that. I definitely will retell that story.
Okay, and speaking of effective leaders, we know that as effective leaders, we have to inspire. That's part of what we do as leaders. My motto or mantra has been for years, keep grinding. I heard Coach Prime say, keep making plays. I heard you say, keep chopping wood. And that was something that I think you said you got from your father-in-law, right when you, I think, started dating your now wife. So can you really unpack that and interpret that for us as to what that really means for you?
Yeah, my father-in-law gave me keep chopping wood, and his father-in-law gave it to him. So it's been in my wife's maternal line for a while. It really came to fruition when I was playing for the Atlanta Braves, and they had the big chop. I ended up making a t-shirt from it. But ultimately, when times are good, keep chopping wood, because bad times will come eventually. And in bad times, keep chopping wood, because that's all you can do. And in neutral times, keep chopping wood. Just no matter what's happening, keep chopping wood, because the analogy ultimately is because you're going to need it at some point. But no matter what is happening, do the fundamentals, do the things that will make you successful, and control what you can control. Right? To me, keep chopping wood means so many things, but ultimately it's consistency, perseverance, and understanding what's important.
Do you use that mentality and that concept as you're coaching these leaders? Because again, as we know, all of these things from the coach world really transfer, of course, very well to any industry, as you're working with any leader. How do you use that mentality when you're coaching someone?
Yeah, ultimately, when I'm coaching executives, the first thing that I believe in, and this comes from the Spark Brilliance program and Jackie, is it starts with you as the leader, right? You need to understand your own superpowers. You need to understand your perspective. What's your default communication style? What are your own biases before you can communicate effectively and understand other people's biases, communication styles, defaults, how they like to be communicated to, what point of view they're coming from. So when I'm coaching, it's okay, well, are you in your best place? Are you assuming best intentions? Um, and then go from there. And what can you control in this situation also? And give the benefit of the doubt. And most of the time, people want to be good. People don't go to work to do a bad job or to upset people. So when you assume best intentions and you try to go out of your way to understand the intent of what's being said, even if it's not communicated effectively, right? Like, what are they really saying? And you
Yes,
lead with curiosity. A lot of problems get solved that way.
absolutely. Thank you for that.
Solving and the future of work and leadership comes to mind when we talk about digitization. We're on the Zoom platform now, Ryan. So how do you see the future of work and leadership evolving, and what skills do you believe will be the most crucial for future leaders to thrive in this technological advancement and with our shifting societal expectations for coaches?
Honestly, I think the more we lean on technology, I think it's going to make people easier, but or it's going to make our work easier. That's the idea. but I think people are going to continue to crave the human connection. So the future of leadership is making people feel encouraged and a sense of a bigger community, encouraged, loved in the professional sense. The best leaders are the people that encourage and develop other leaders, right? You build other people up, and bring people together.
Absolutely true. And again, just the digitization, just like you, I think it's just a way to keep connecting, keep empowering, keep embracing, the coaching mindset. So thank you.
So one of the things I love that you talk about, Ryan, is your 3 questions, the why nots. That framework just really spoke to me. Can you share with our audience a little bit more about that and maybe how you speak about it when you're working with clients?
Yes, I'm so glad you asked that, because this is really the crux of when I'm keynote speaking. It's give yourself permission to be the change maker yourself. Why not you? And give yourself the permission to lean into your strengths and do more, succeed more than your wildest dreams. Why not more? And when you're on the team, the most successful teams that I was ever on were the teams that the outside world had the lowest expectations for. Why not us? Right? In my mind, if I had really leaned into, I want to be an All-American, I want to win the national batting title, I want to set minor league and major league records, I want to play in the Olympics and perform, finish an Ironman, that rah, I can do it doesn't speak to me. I'm a realist. I have questions. My mind goes into Google Overdrive and sees all the hurdles and obstacles that I might face. But when I ask myself the question, when I say, well, why not? Now my brain going into overdrive and having all those questions is to my advantage, because instead of creating doubts, I'm using doubt to give me a roadmap of all the obstacles I may need to overcome. And now, instead of having doubts, I have the how and the why and the what I need to do to accomplish everything that I want to get to.
And that's why I love so much when you speak about that, because that resonates for me as well, right? It's this idea of transforming and reframing in a way that speaks to you, but also ignites you and like steps you forward and makes you want to overcome, achieve, and continue to move through the obstacles, and not operate from fear, but operate from possibility. So thank you so much.
Yeah, to me, it's about tenacity, and it's not about running from something, but running towards something.
No, that makes perfect sense.
It absolutely does, Dawn. And I feel like I'm being coached here between the parallel of sports and business. So my question is actually a good segue, Ryan, for you. I wanted to know for our audience as well, what parallels do you see between leading a sports team to victory and leading a business team to success?
So I had the benefit of playing for 12 different managers in the major leagues. And it is a situation where winning is the only thing that matters, right? You could put 25 people off the street into a major league game to lose, but you're paying people millions of dollars for the chance to win. And you're on national television, under the limelight, answering questions in front of TV cameras after performing in front of 40,000 people. I've seen how good leadership and bad leadership, good team camaraderie and bad team camaraderie leads to wins and losses on a nightly basis. In the corporate world, if you have a conversation that makes somebody not feel valued, or they disengage, their performance suffers, they may leave the company. That costs the company tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, 6 months down the road, a year down the road. You don't often get to see the results, or you're not able to pinpoint what happened. But good leadership is an opportunity. Good leadership is a responsibility. And in this world where it's the hardest time in history to be a leader, because right now the corporate world is at its lowest happiness index in recorded history, the lowest engagement index. We just came out of the Great Recession, the Great Resignation. This is the hardest. Nobody's ever led in an environment like this. There's 4 generations in the workplace for the first time in history. People need different things. So when you lead from a people-centric point of view, and you lead from an angle of caring and helping people be their best, and engaging in things that matter to them, and giving them work that excites them, it feels essential, it feels effortless and motivating, and it's important. And their role, is going to help the bigger picture vision for the company. You can stand out. And it's not always about paying people more money. It's about giving them a purpose and helping them feel like they can be their full self at work. And there's just this opportunity. So as far as the parallel between sports and leadership and business, I think it's, great leadership is great leadership.
I agree. And leadership is indeed an opportunity and a privilege when you're empowering and you have someone in your care and steward. So that discipline, that strategy, and that performance, like you said, I agree totally that everyone needs different things. And a good leader would know that. A good leader knows how to embrace and to, distribute those skills evenly, mindfully. So thank you, Brian.
So I couldn't have this conversation with you without talking about this sweet book that you wrote, your children's book, Baseball and Belonging. I would love for you to just share with our audience what prompted this theme for you, and what brought this project about as part of your post-baseball projects.
Yeah, thanks for that. I didn't set out to write a book, or especially write a Jewish children's book. I played for Israel in the World Baseball Classic, and then eventually in the Olympics, and then the World Baseball Classic again. And then I was captain of Team Israel in the European Championships. And even earlier today, some list came out that listed me as the 11th most influential Jewish athlete of all time, which is kind of cool. Essentially, I was doing speeches to Jewish communities about my story of following my passion. I grew up in a mixed religion household where I didn't feel connected to either one of them. And through playing baseball for Team Israel, I was really embraced by this global community, and it really made me feel like I was a part of something. And that's what led me to my Judaism, was the community first. And it was such an amazing experience. And my rabbi said, people need to hear the story. Kids need to hear the story of how you can do what you love and find somewhere where you belong. And my hope is that that's the message people take from it, whether they're Jewish or not, is you can do what you love, and you'll find your people, or your people will find you. And you'll find the sense of fulfillment that you didn't know was possible.
It's absolutely beautiful. I was sharing it with a friend today who can't wait to read it with her son. So thank you so much for writing it and for being willing to share your story. Belonging is such an important topic. Brene Brown talks about the difference between fitting in and belonging. And belonging offers you the opportunity to show up as your whole self and to feel that you are comfortable, safe, and that you are valued. And so to think about and being in an environment where you were able to achieve that feeling is pretty amazing. And to convey that to children at an early age, that they can feel that too, is really important. And we have an opportunity in creating community to do that for other people.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, Mr. Ryan Lavarnway, we want to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time out, for being our guest on the Leading with Purpose podcast. And we want to give you this space to share. Where can our audience connect with you? Where can they follow you? Where can they purchase your book? Where can they book you if they need to? So please take this time to share all your information.
Oh, of course. I am easy to find. RyanLavarnway.com. LinkedIn at Ryan Lavarnway, Instagram at rlavarnway. Book is on Amazon. It's called Baseball and Belonging. And I'm really just grateful for this platform that you guys gave me today. I had a great time speaking with you ladies, and thanks for doing what you're doing. Keep it up.
Thank you. And to our audience, we want to thank you as well. Thank you for spending this time with us on Leading with Purpose. And I am Dr. Sharon H. Porter.
I am Janelle E. Taylor.
And I'm Dawn Marie Bornheimer. As you navigate your leadership journey, please remember that it's not about just a philosophy, but we're focused on commitment and leading with purpose.
If you've enjoyed today's episode, please share it with your network. And don't forget to subscribe so you will never miss an opportunity to explore the intersection of leadership and purpose.
And continue to lead, empower, inspire, and achieve. And until next time, lead with passion, lead with positive intention, and by all means, continue to lead with purpose. Thank you for joining the Leading with Purpose podcast. Please join us every Monday for a new episode.